وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كلامه المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كفى بالمرء كذبا أن يحدث بكل ما سمع. صدق الله العظيم أو كما قال النبي محمد المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم. Respected brothers and elders, I was going to resume with my speech on the topics about ruqya, tama'im, amulets, etc. But I'm going to change it a little bit today, especially because you see these Zaman, father and son, mashallah, sitting there like friends and brothers, and their father, who is my brother-in-law, just requested me to talk about something else. So I'm going to honor that request, and I'm going to talk about the current situation that happened in London this week. Yes, we all know what happened, and we don't need to be apologetic. We all condemn such oppression, such injustice, such barbaric act. You know, it's just logical, it's a human thing, moral thing to condemn and oppose such barbaric actions. So I don't need to go too much into the details of exactly what happened, who he is, etc., etc. I'm sure everybody knows about the details more than myself. And me personally, soon as things like this happen, I say inna lillahi wa inna raji'un, and I say astaghfirullah la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, and I feel very, very upset, sad. My heart goes out to these victims, regardless of who they are, Muslims or non-Muslims, whether it's in the UK, in Europe, or whether it's the Muslims who are being bombed with drones, etc., in Iraq, in Pakistan, in other parts of the Muslim world. These kind of murdering are happening every single day, and it's just heartbreaking, frustrating, you know, not just because it happens in London, wherever in the world it's happening. But when it happens in places like England and Europe, or terrorist attacks, most of the time, which is not even verified, the story is quite typical. They find their passport and they see it's an Asian guy straight away. Before any verification, we will deal it as a terrorist attack, and that's it. It just goes on, and then laws are passed, etc. So whoever it is, and then you always find out the person that committed such injustice, such barbaric actions, are some lone wolves, so who's depressed, who's probably just came out from the mental hospital, or someone who is already under the radar and is being monitored for terrorist activities, extremism, etc. It's all typical situations that happen. So as Muslims, obviously, we sympathize for the victims, we condemn such acts, we should never ever justify this whatsoever. And I would just like to conclude with a message that these are calamities upon us, trials and tribulations, upon everyone. It's times of fitna. As a few months ago, a few weeks I had dedicated in talking about the fitan, the trials, tribulations, malahim, etc. that will take place during the end of time. The worst of all amongst the Muslims, killing one another, and then into global war, etc. It's all foretold by our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we Muslims living in the West, we've been living in comfort, in happiness, with all the advantages, luxuries, beyond what people in poor countries, even in the non-war-torn countries, can ever even imagine. The lifestyle that we're living, the freedom that we're having, the freedom of speech, the freedom of politics, etc. Muslims in Muslim countries would only dream of such freedom. And we all know this world is a test. So we should be patient. We should never lose hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we should prepare for the akhirah. Whatever difficulties, trials come upon us, we should be patient, and we should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for whatever ease, comfort that we have enjoyed all these years. People, we all know in Bosnia what they've been through. In Syria, we know what people are going through. In Bangladesh, in Burma, Rohingya, etc. We all know what people are going through. Who knows? Allah forbid, Allah protect us. We should seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And even without war-torn, people are in their private lives suffering such oppression. Sometimes you see these videos of foster carers or parents or babysitters, etc. beating up and battering young innocent children, who can't do anything, just cry and scream. And people are going through such difficulty. So, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for afiyah. Our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would always make dua, Allahumma inni as'aluka al-afwa wal-afiyata wal-mu'afata ad-da'ima fi ad-dini wal-dunya wal-akhirah. And this afiyah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, free from, we're not being imprisoned, we are not being tortured, we are not, being restricted from our freedoms, etc. We are taking these blessings for granted. And we never ever stop and think and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَفَحَسِبَ النَّاسُ أَن يُتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. Do people think that they will be just left? That they just say, Amanna, we believe in Allah. And they will not be tried and tribulated. وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. And they will not be tried. أَمْ حَسِبْتُمْ أَن تَدْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةَ وَلَمَّا يَأْتِكُمْ مَثَلُ الَّذِينَ خَلَوْا مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ مَسَّتْهُمُ الْبَأْسَاءُ وَالضَّرَّاءُ وَزُلْزِلُوا حَتَّى يَقُولَ الرَّسُولُ وَالَّذِينَ مَعَهُ مَتَى نَصْرُ اللَّهِ. Do you think, Allah says in the Quran, أَن تَدْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةَ, that you will enter Jannah, وَلَمَّا يَأْتِكُمْ مَثَلُ الَّذِينَ خَلَوْا مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ, and that similar things which have come upon those before you will not afflict you. مَسَّتْهُمُ الْبَأْسَاءُ وَالضَّرَّاءُ وَزُلْزِلُوا. Hardship, poverty, hunger was afflicted upon them. They were shaken until the messenger and those following them would say, when is the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will come to us?